In this video, I unexpectedly end up digging out TWC the Invacar, fixing her brakes, and then going for a drive to the beach. Why ever not? Also includes a full fleet update. Let's get into it. This week, all of my plans have gone wrong, so I'm going to give you a fleet update because, nothing I've wanted to film this week has worked, and I'll explain why later. But sitting here today is the Toyota Avensis. It's still missing the mirror cover and the side indicator. A genuine Toyota, one of these mirror indicators, is £160. So I'm trying to find a much cheaper solution to this problem. Might have to buy a complete used unit, which is just insanity, just because I need the indicator bit. A used one of those could be anywhere from 25 to about 50 quid. You cannot get an aftermarket indicator for these, it seems. The later TWC Avensis that began production in the year of this one's build, 2008, they seem to be 10 a penny and a different, much cheaper design. But these are an absolute nightmare. Pain, what a pain. Why can't we just have the indicator there? Apparently the base 1.8 still did, which must mean that the front wings are an absolute nightmare. Some other news is that the previous owner has mentioned he replaced this bonnet because of lack appeal. He bought it, but it had already been damaged. So, badly repainted by someone else, presumably because of the same old lack appeal. So that's what's going on with the Avensis. I'm probably going to go home in it today. This has a really useful feature, you know. If you put the demister on when the engine's cold, there must be a resistance heater in the heater matrix or something, because you get warm air instantly, which on a diesel you normally don't. And I wonder if that's why what triggers a higher idle is that there's a big current draw that the alternator's got to cover off. So I would love to know more about that. I've tried looking online, I cannot find very much about it. So if you know how these systems work, let me know. Hasn't got the full Webasto system. In some markets on these, you've got a separate Webasto heater to preheat the coolant, warm the car up, etc. All that. It hasn't got that. Not extreme enough. I will be looking to replace the tyres on this because I'm starting to think I need some more seasons in my life. Lack appeal, that's what Lewis pulled off, and it's still stuck to the rear window. You can see it's literally peeling off while it's sat here. We'll work out what we're going to do with that, folks. To be honest, I just don't know. Over here, Bella the Bolingo has been in daily duty. She was meant to be going to 6D diesels this week as part of my complicated logistics, but it's not happening. This is what has utterly derailed my week. Well, first of all, today I was meant to be collecting a car with Timothy of Cambrian Classics, but unfortunately he's unwell, and we therefore cannot travel today. But given the weather's meant to be horrendous later today, maybe that's no bad thing. It's quite bitterly cold again, so that got cancelled. And then we've got a storm coming in tomorrow, which was meant to be collecting the new car day, combined with taking Bella to 6D diesels. May not have been my best idea. We may end up splitting those into two separate missions. The new car is in Bristol, and in theory, I'd be able to get home before the storm strikes tomorrow evening. But if for any reason I'm delayed, I could end up being very stuck. They're expecting some severe hill snow, and Bristol is the other side of lots of hills to me. So there's a danger I could get snowed out, which would be very bad news, because we've got to go and take Miss Hubnut Jr. To university this weekend, which we're going to do in the Panda. And the Panda tomorrow, hopefully, is getting shod with some all-season tyres, because we did some driving with Miss Hubnut Jr. On Monday. We took her out in the snow. Ended up having to push her in the snow. She was learning how to brake gently. She very, very good at the gentle pull away, so you're not wheel spinning. Very good at manual traction control. If the wheels start spinning, you just ease off until they're not. Very good, very sensitive feet. So she did really well at that. We'll get the Panda shod on some more suitable rubber. Going to do the same with the Avensis hopefully as well, and that's all why. It's because we seem to be getting more wintry weather than we ever have done before. I've lived down near Newquay for best part 7 years, getting on for, and we just don't get this significant amount of snow, and it looks like we're going to get our second dumping. We may just escape it. We're just outside the window, may escape tomorrow's snow, but yeah, unfortunately my route back from Bristol is going to get absolutely hammered, so that's not happening. So yeah, Bella de Blingo not losing as much oil as we thought, which is good. We got that leak that seems to be coming out of the oil cap. Not sure if there's meant to be a seal there or not. Would welcome people's thoughts on that. Some think there should be a seal, some think not. I don't know. It would suggest excess crankcase pressure, and she's got leaks all over that engine, which again would confirm that there's just too much pressure. Oil's finding its way out pretty much all over the engine, so that'll be for Al to sort out. Desmond here, Desmond the utter pain in the arse, this is the Perodua Canary, was parked up because the alternator started making a horrible noise on startup, and I went to record a clip yesterday and he didn't do it, so that's a bit inconclusive. I think the alternator bearings are probably a bit shot. We may have to do something about that. Oh, hello cat. Bye cat. Oh, Belingo's getting the cat scan. Ilya the 2CV is still waiting a new engine because we built a 652 kit on an engine that turned out to have a bad bottom end, and I'm starting to think that 652 kit is cursed, because that's the third engine that 652 kit has been on, and we've just had problems which aren't necessarily related to the kit, but I'm just starting to feel like, oh, this can sometimes happen. You go down the modification route and all you're doing is modifying yourself into black holes. So very tempted to go back to just stock 602. I'm not doing the mileage really to justify the enormous extra power, the extra 2 brake horsepower or whatever it is. It's hard to justify, but yeah, she's parked up in here, but still rusting away even indoors. The Daihatsu I should get on today. I've now got everything I need to try and get the exhaust buttoned up on that. And then put the front bumper back on, ready for an MOT. But when there's so much salt down and this car rots so readily, it feels like we're not really in a rush there. Acquiring parts this weekend, hopefully for Betty, a new compressor for the aircon. I think I'm going to go 2-stage on this. I think initially I'm just going to replace the compressor so we can have the serpentine belt back on, and we can just drive her around. Aircon is useful this time of year just for taking the humidity out and demisting, but not as essential as it is in the summer. So may go 2-pronged just because I would like to get this car back on the road again. I miss driving it. And what I think I'm going to focus on this morning is the Invacar, because some idiot left the handbrake on while she was parked here. So the brakes, we were already in an issue with that brake sticking a bit. It's now very stuck. She won't actually move, so that's not good. And again, do I need this car on the road at the moment? I absolutely do not, but the longer I leave it with a stuck brake, the worse it's going to be. So let's jump into that, jack her up, see if we can get this thing freed off. Yep, locked up tight of in county jail, as Derek would say. See if we can free it off with some gentle percussion first of all. Keeping the tyre on for maximum leverage. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's definitely rotato potato again. Right, there we go. That feels like at least some movement. That's still quite sticky though, isn't it? It's difficult because this has a CVT, continuously variable transmission with a belt drive. The resistance on that is really quite enormous, but yeah, that still feels like it's sticking. I think it might be an idea to try and get tuck in a better place where I'm not resting against the wall, and we might have to get the shoe off, just try and lubricate everything in there and see if that helps. Yeah, this is not ideal working conditions. Right, see if we can wake her up. It's been a while. Oh, come on, Tuck. Did I take the choke off a bit quick there, love? Right, see if she'll actually back up. Oh, yeah. It's such a sweet little engine. Yeah, just about gets it moving again, but not very much. I might get the wheel off and then we can attack the drum itself just gently. Where's my whizzy gun? That'll speed things up. Might help. Now I have to shout across the workshop. Noise alert. Yeah, I think we'll get a wire brush on those. Let's do that now before I forget entirely. Because I will, because I'm a hub nut. Clean these up. I don't like to lubricate my wheel nuts, but I mean, to be honest, if you're actually getting them off and checking when you should be, there shouldn't be an issue. So I think you can see the problem there. The problem is I've not had these off for a very long time. You need to be a bit careful with these because it's cast iron. You don't want to cause it to fracture. See if I can back the adjuster off. If I can remember where I've put my adjuster tool. It's the same as a Reliant or a Triumph. Well, the good news is I found it. The bad news is it's gone quite rusty, like so much else in here. So that slots in at the top up here. There we go. I can move that, hopefully. Uh-oh. Oh, that's moving. That's if I made it worse. Shall I go the other way then, shall we? Yeah, definitely don't want to go that way. Yeah, I think the problem is there's corrosion on the shoes is causing us some issue here. Deploy violence. Well, it's definitely getting better. Can we make it better still with adjustment, or is that the low point? Yeah, that's tight again. Yeah, that feels like where we need to be, but we're getting there, we're getting there. Oh. Ah. I should probably be wearing a mask really, because these are the original shoes and may well contain asbestos, so we shall hold back. But the shoes themselves, if anything, look a bit glazed. They don't look like they've been doing a whole lot. But yeah, this adjuster works a little cam in here, which pushes the shoes in and out. So that is maximum in. Everything looks all right, but we will lubricate everything up. appreciate that isn't the best blowy outy thing, but I really don't want to blow dust absolutely everywhere. Yeah, we got a bit of, you can see a bit of corrosion inside the drum. Gosh, I do sound like Darth Vader. So I might just try and rub that out a bit. I think that's what's happened. I think it's actually bound on the side of the drums. But it's a pain to work on because you've got this huge flange. But you know, that's with no brakes at all. That is still quite stiff because you're turning all the belt mechanism. Might try a bit of spray lube behind the master cylinder because the master cylinder is actually designed to move very slightly. I don't want to get into pulling all this apart because it's just an absolute pain. In theory, if I start her up in gear, she should, this wheel should spin. So should we just give that a try? Come on, Tuck. There we go. Pop her into neutral. Get this drum back on. Yeah, that's not right, is it? Oh. And yet it isn't. Shall we see what happens now? Oh, my knee going. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Won't go too mad because there is nothing at all holding that drum on, but that certainly feels better, doesn't it? Adjust that up a bit. That's probably too much. Yeah, maybe we'll just leave it where it is. How do the brakes feel? Good. That brake doesn't seem to be doing anything at all. I'm going to have to tweak it up a bit. Ah, there we go. Oh, now it's locked solid again. I've got one brake application and it's locked solid again. So does that mean my wheel cylinder is at fault? I have a horrible feeling it might do. Well, that's not good. I've got the rubber cover off, which you can do by just pulling the handbrake lever. It gives you enough space to get the rubber out. I think that might be our problem. That wheel cylinder looks awful. Ugh. Right, you keep an eye on that. If I operate the handlebars, does that pop out? Oh, that felt like, oh, there we go. Yeah, we got her out. Can we get away? Obviously this would not be a long-term fix. Can we get away? We're just trying to clean that up, get some of the rusty gunk off it. This is what sitting around doing nothing does for your brakes. It's not very good for them. I don't think this is necessarily the right course of action, but it's what I'm going to do. Some little release penetrant type stuff, and then can we use the adjuster tool to push that back in. That was quite a release. That really did go ka-tung, didn't it? Yeah, that is not This is not how your brake system should work, folks. That should just want to return pretty naturally, really. Yeah. I don't think this one's going to come back. Nonetheless, we'll give it another pull. Oh, that's moving a lot easier. But it's not going back in, is it? Is the thing. Oh, there we go. It is starting to go. Now let's keep working it back and forth. Yeah, that is working. If you watch that now, it is coming out and going back in again. That is exactly what should happen. But it might be that the cylinder's not moving around easily enough on the backing. I love squirting loads of oil around inside the brake drum, but nonetheless, we do need these brakes actually working properly. So will that move around? It doesn't seem to love it, does it? There's your handbrake. Yeah. Oh no, there we go. Ah, there we go. It's okay. The wheel cylinder is now moving around very nicely on the backing. And operate that now. I'll just put my finger there for reference so I can feel it. Yeah, you see how that's not me pushing that back in. That is making its own way back in now. So that is getting better. Right, I've got that back on. Managed to get it all centralised and everything. So let's try again. Come on, Tuck, I know you're cold. Let's brake to a stop. Aha! That seems to work better. Of course, it's trying to work its way off through centrifugal force, so we don't want that happening. So I might pop the wheel on and just run that experiment again. Let's see how we're doing now, shall we? "20 miles an hour, well, speed limit." Yeah. That would seem to be working. Yeah, still not. It'll never be super easy because most of that drag is transmission, but nonetheless. Yeah, that would seem an awful lot better. Let's see if she moves better. I guess first things first, can I push her? Oh. Yeah, maybe the other side needs work now. Because that still feels a little reluctant. So we're plonkering gear. Oh yeah, that's rolling. They see me rolling. They see my filthy windscreen. Whoa, hey, off-roading in a tuck. And off the power. And we are rolling to a halt. And in fact, we're starting to slide slightly back again. So try somewhere a bit more level. Oh, the potholes, can't avoid them all. Ah, either of them. Off the power. Yeah, we're pulling to the left, so that suggests that the near side rear is probably playing up a bit. Well, that pleases me. quite a bit. Took his rolling. Yeah, we're rolling downhill. Gravity is just about, yeah. Should we have a look at the other side? I think we might as well. We've done one side. Why wouldn't the other side be struggling just as much? But ultimately, I think we are looking at new wheel cylinders. Look at this colourful fleet I have at the moment. Marvellous. I'm just going to go back to doing right-handed because I've slightly better control. Just ease our way in. Right, same again. Right in, let's go for a drive. I need some lunch before I tackle the front brake, which does seem to be working. And we need some fuel as well. Took below quarter of a tank. So we'll go to Bryn Hofnant, where we can get some super unleaded. Past the big massive crane. That's only a tiddler really. She does seem to go better with brakes that aren't sticking. That's cruising at 50. We are going downhill a bit. Oh, it's a bit gusty today. I'm not loving that. Tuck and wind, not a good combination. It is nice to be out in the old girl again. So just as a reminder here, we've got a 493cc air-cooled flat twin by Steyr Puck, driving through an AC designed CVT, continuously variable transmission. So it's just twist and go. I push down on the handlebars to brake and then just twist for steering. Doing 40 miles an hour uphill at the moment. Now on 33,600 miles. I don't think this engine is timed perfectly, but the distributor is seized in the block, so we can't adjust the ignition timing. I think it's probably just a little bit retarded. It's what they did in service to slow these down, because the factory figure is 20 brake horsepower in a car that weighs 410 kilos. They were dangerously quick, really. There we go. Go and get you some fresh super unleaded, Tuck. One of very few places along the A487 you can get it. Oh no! They haven't got any. Oh balls, we're going to have to try and get to Llandyssil then. I'll spare you that, that's quite a long drive. Oh, got to Cardigan just in time. The low petrol is just starting to flash and has stopped flashing as soon as I've stopped. Brilliant. But we've come to Cardigan because Cardigan was very slightly closer. Right then, there we go. Took some lovely fresh fuel. In gear. Where's this car going? They're going to that pump there. That's already in. And away we go. I am guilty of not driving Tuck enough, and last year I was getting very depressed about the whole driving Tuck thing. That wasn't wheel spin, that's belt squeal. And I think I was a bit gloomy generally, and I was projecting onto Tuck. I'm actually having a really nice time. Just to go and find somewhere to stop for lunch now. Well, we've made it down to Penbryn Beach, There's no parking down here, but it's worth coming down just to come and admire. The parking's a bit further up, but what a lovely day out in TWC the Invacar. Well, this is quite interesting here. We've got the plump tart, where you can go and buy some goodies here at Penbryn beach. And this, I think it's a National Trust property, but perhaps you can explore as well. There's parking, there's toilets, you have to pay for the parking, but yeah, useful little spot. I think this is a little cafe, so you can grab a snack down here. But TWC just didn't want to start. I just turned the key and nothing happened, and I manually turned the diner start and tried again, and off she went. So maybe some trouble brewing there. You're never too far away from trouble with old cars, but yeah, fascinating little spot. I'll give you a bit more of a view of the road ahead as we go adventuring. Really does help if you put it in gear, which I've apparently failed to do. I also failed to plug my seatbelt in. There we go, into gear, and away we go. Yeah, it's interesting roads around here, that's for sure. Here we are in Penbryn. Very tight, very steep. That's us flat out at 20 miles an hour. Marvellous. What a pleasant little trip this has been. I hope you've enjoyed it too. And hopefully next week we can get back to what we were meant to be doing this week. A short time later, we are back home. What a little adventure that was. That was about 30, maybe 35 miles we've done today. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad about that, because I was starting to convince myself that I didn't like driving this anymore, and I was quite wrong. Let's listen to her just purring along. I'm not turning her off because I'm not 100% sure she's going to restart, but there we go. I'm very happy. So I hope you've enjoyed that rather chaotic little day. It started off with me just walking around talking about my cars, and before I knew it, I turfed this lot out, and we went for a ride in TWC the Invacar. But yeah, she does make me very happy. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. Don't forget you can head to the Hub Nut store if you would like to buy some lovely merchandise. Should have some new beanies in stock fairly soon. And watch out for our live streams. We like to do random giveaways in our live streams to everyone who's there in the live chat. See you again soon. Bye. You get the angle right. It does actually still say Invacar and Fundersley.